Week 2, my warm-up to start off with, so the pulse raiser is my client has to start on the end line and then jog the first third of the netball court, sprint the second, and then jog the end third. But also when he jogs, I'm going to add a football, so it incorporates a skill element as well as raising his heart rate ready for exercise. Because of Monday's session, I have changed the rowing machine to a treadmill. I would like the participant to purely focus the dynamic stretches on his legs so that they are prepared for exercise, as they're the isolated muscle group that he'll be using during the session on the Monday and throughout the week. So I'd like him to do 5 reps of walking lunges on each leg, and then 5 reps of walking hamstring stretches on each leg, and then 5 reps of squats. Also, I'd like him to do some calf stretches, as these muscles he'll be using during each session in the week. Just going back to the pulse raiser activity, he'll be working anaerobically, so 80 to 90% of his maximum heart rate. Now going on to the cool down, I'd like him to walk on the treadmill at an incline at an RPE of about 4. The walk still allows the oxygenated blood to circulate the body to reduce the oxygen debt during the plyometric work on the Thursday, but also it allows the removal of carbon dioxide on each of the training sessions. Next, I'd like him to do some static stretching. I'd like him to do 7 reps of each exercise on each leg. So I'd like him to do some quadricep stretches where he'll lift his leg behind him and pull a stretch in his quadricep. Also, it's the hamstring stretches, the gastrocnemius stretches, and some squats. Because he's been using his leg muscles, this allows the muscles and tendons and ligaments in the legs to become more pliable, but also reduce the injury risk next time he does a training session. Plus, on Thursday for the cool down, I like him to use a foam roller again, because then he can break down the lactic acid, so it won't cause him any pain that will build up during the anaerobic sessions on a Thursday. On Monday's session, I have increased the duration by 10% and not the intensity. This is because I want my client to work aerobically so that he improves his aerobic glycolysis energy system, so that his ability to utilize oxygen during long durations of exercise increases. So his VO2 max will increase. And also I've increased the duration by 10% to follow progressive overload, so that it's not too much of an increase, but it's enough of an increase so that his body will adapt but won't get injured at the same time. Also, by increasing the duration, this will consequently increase his muscular endurance in his legs, because these muscles will be continuously contracting for longer. I have chosen for my client to run on the treadmill for variation, and it offers a different area of muscles to work rather than the upper arms and legs. When running on a treadmill, it also incorporates your core muscles to contract in order to keep your balance. So this will also aid his sporting performance in football, as your core is very important, because if you have a stronger core, then this improves your posture. Therefore, with an improved posture, he can stand taller, which will enable him to get a better chance of headering higher balls if they come towards him, because he'll be taller, so he'll be able to reach them. Linking to this, his balance will also improve as well, as his core, when he lands from the header, will be stronger, so he won't topple over. For resistance band training, I have increased the reps by 2. This is so my client doesn't injure themselves by overstretching, but there's still progressive overload, so there's some adaptations the client needs to make to their body so that it improves. However, this will still improve their flexibility. So the exercises my client will be doing are hamstring stretches and hip flexor stretches. So like before, they put the band around the sole of their foot and then lift their leg up straight and bend their knee slightly, which will, and then straighten their leg again, which will stretch their hamstring. And then another one is they put the band around the sole of their foot and then keep raising and lowering their leg. And this will also create a stretch for their hamstring. So they will do 3 sets of 7 reps of each exercise. Also, I have added an exercise to the resistance bands, which is squats, but my client has to walk sideways with the resistance band around their legs. I've chosen these exercises so not only does my client improve their flexibility in their hamstrings, but also their quadriceps increase in muscular strength, and also their core increases in muscular strength too. And this is important to my client as in the past he has suffered from pain in his lower back. By adding a core exercise into a low intensity training session, this will build his core muscle so that less pain occurs in his back, as his body will be more upright, as his core muscles will improve his posture. For Thursday's session, for the sprint training, I have given my client less time to recover, so 5 seconds less. This is because then this allows the client's ATP-PC stores to adapt and restore more quickly to give enough energy for my client to sprint again, as during a game situation this would be the case, as the client would not know when they need to sprint and how often they need to. So their body needs to respond to this as they would have to in a game situation, as they don't always get a long time to recover before they need to sprint again. For the plyometric training session, I haven't added any exercises, so there's still the sledge sprints and the skater jumps. However, the reason why I've increased the reps by 2 is because this allows the client to contract their muscles more times in the sets, and therefore increasing the muscle fiber thickness, which will therefore increase the power the muscles can generate, which will not only aid their sporting performance but also help them reach their target. The plyometric session and the interval speed session will be performed at 80 to 90% of their maximum heart rate, so anaerobically. So because of this, like I said in week 1, on Friday they'll do a 15-minute light cycle, an RPE of about 4 or 5, so that they reduce the effects of DOMS.